unfolded pharma's paradigm shift. And this monthly series will go on. We'll send out next month, creating a group. I'd like to start by introducing Rashmi Gurnani, the AKT Health CEO. Rashmi has 14 years experience in clinical research, information technology, strategy, planning, and business development. Business analyst in life sciences, IT, worked on clinical research and pharma software, holds a master's degree in clinical research and business administration. Also the chief operating officer of Medifact, which is a real-world evidence-based blockchain providing apps for healthcare. Working in business development and product partnership. Rashmi, please. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you firstly to take the time to be here. I stand before you today with a sense of excitement and anticipation as we delve into the realm of DCTs, a paradigm shift poised to revolutionize the landscape of pharmaceutical research and development. As we embark on this journey, let us explore the transformative potential of DCTs, the challenges they entail, and the boundless opportunities they offer to reshape the future of healthcare. The traditional model of clinical trials has long been the cornerstone of pharmaceutical research. However, it comes with its own set of limitations. The conventional approach, characterized by rigid protocols, lengthy recruitment processes, and burdensome clinic visits, often possess significant obstacles to patient participation and retention. Moreover, during the COVID-19 pandemic, it has highlighted the vulnerabilities of this model, underscoring the urgent need for innovation and adaptability in clinical research. Enter DCTs, a progressive and patient-centric approach that leverages technology to decentralize key aspects of the clinical trial process, empowering patients and enhancing flexibility without compromising scientific rigor. By integrating real-world data, telemedicine, wearable devices, and digital platforms, DCTs offer a paradigm shift that holds immense promise for accelerating the pace of drug development while ensuring greater inclusivity and accessibility. One of the most compelling advantages of DCTs lies in their ability to overcome geographical barriers and expand patient access. By enabling participants to engage in research from the comfort of their homes, DCTs eliminate the need for frequent clinic visits, thereby reducing their travel burdens and increasing recruitment potential. This not only enhances patient convenience but also facilitates the inclusion of underrepresented populations, ultimately leading to more diverse and generalizable clinical trial results. Furthermore, DCTs enable real-time monitoring of patient data through connected devices, providing researchers with a comprehensive understanding of patient health and treatment response. This continuous stream of data not only enhances safety surveillance, but also allows for adaptive trial designs, enabling researchers to make informed decisions in real time and optimize study outcomes. As we stand at the precipice of this transformative shift, it is imperative that we approach DCTs with a spirit of collaboration, innovation, and patient centricity. By embracing emerging technologies, fostering regulatory agility, and prioritizing patient needs, we can unlock the full potential of DCTs to drive innovation, improve outcomes, and ultimately transform the future of healthcare. In conclusion, DCTs represent more than just a paradigm shift. They signify a fundamental evolution in the way we conduct research, deliver care, and advance medical science. As we embark on this journey together, let us harness the power of innovation to unlock new frontiers of discovery and usher in a future where healthcare is truly decentralized, accessible, and equitable to all. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. So, I'd like to move on now to our keynote speaker. We have Dr. Alexandre Duprey. Dr. Duprey comes from University of Lyon and Yale University. He's the CSO of Hill Research.ai, applying generative AI to clinical trials in immunotherapy as well as vaccines. Led an AI team at Flagship Pioneering, which was acquired in 2023. He's a serial entrepreneur, developed AI-powered methods for DNA structure, quantification and co-founded Dr. Duprey Therapeutics, mathematics and biology background. Dr. Duprey.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Today I'm here in order to tell you about using AI specifically for recruiting patients in clinical trials. This is an expertise that I cultivated by founding Hill Research. We're a Microsoft and Google partner startup that really focuses on this critical phase of clinical trials, which is recruitment. So, how do you end up founding a company that recruits people for clinical trial and matches patients to trial? I've been in a lot of different places. I've done academic research at Yale University, all AI and biology related. Pretty early, I decided that I felt like creating my own company, that I had ideas that were not being developed, and get started in AI entrepreneurship. Dr. Duprey Therapeutics was the first company that directly directed my research at Yale. And in between, in and out, I've been also working for a larger venture capital that does biotech AI research, which is flagship pioneering. And now this latest project, Hill Research, which is my foray in the clinical space. Actually, all this other work is preclinical. So now what AI in the clinical space for patient recruitment. How do we do, and also why do we do that? Why do we want to use AI in patient recruitment? Well, there's three key graphics here that show why we care. The first thing is that clinical expenditure for drug development is absolutely massive, both in terms of proportion. Almost half of R&D expenditure in the clinical trial themselves. And from the size of the market, we are approaching trillion-dollar value market, half of which spent on clinical trials. So there is space and there is value in there. Now, the other point is that AI is currently not that implanted in clinical trials. Traditional clinical trials, the way it's been done for a while, at study sites are still going strong, and decentralized clinical trials have also getting implanted, increasingly well implanted. And in that, AI is such a tiny piece of clinical trials with AI. So it's an unexplored space, and there's places to go. And if you're just looking at the oncology market, we are already in the hundreds of billions of dollars going into those clinical trials. That's absolutely massive, and there's such a big space that AI can take. Now, the last important point is that clinical trial recruitment is still a challenging endeavor. There's about a quarter of trials that just don't happen because people can't find the right people to enter the trial, and the trials get cancelled and fail, and it's a massive cost for the company. There's a lot of trials as well that are delayed because of patient recruitment, and delayed in patient recruitment are expensive. Your patent is expiring, your patent is running, you need to pay the study sites, you need to pay your people. The costs are pretty in the millions easily when you are wasting time in patient recruitment. So there's really this need to recruit patients faster, more efficiency, and that's where AI can help. So, who wins in that? Why does the world need AI in clinical trial recruitment? Well, companies can find patients they need for the clinical trials, patients with increasingly specific requirements, especially for companies that do precision medicine. You have this massive list of requirements because you want your biomarkers to match. You want every single thing to be right for your trial to succeed. So, especially the cancer field, you're not going to easily reach them if you go and call your usual study site and then they pass it down to the doctor they know. You need to search things at scale. You don't think that AI can enable. The other point is for patients, because again, from the other side, from a patient, if you're a patient with a rare disease, how do you find a clinical trial that's suitable for you? If you have a good medical coverage, you have a doctor that you can go see, the doctor is not necessarily going to be aware of every clinical trial that exists in the world that could help you. And that's already assuming that you have health coverage, that you have access to a doctor. And in the US, Australia, that's a particular problem. And you don't necessarily understand the requirements as a patient yourself. So you can also think of it that AI could help bring patients to the clinical trials by being patient-facing. I'll be touching more on the company-facing efforts here today, but happy to talk about the patient-facing efforts, and I'll touch on that. Now, broadly, the problem to find a suitable patient for clinical trials is that you have either medical data, which is generally structured, more or less, but spread across multiple databases, spread across different hospital networks, hospital institutions. And importantly, this is sensitive and regulated data, so that comes with some challenges. Another type of data that you can use to match patient is self-reported data. A lot of companies that are already on the market use exclusively self-reported data, and it's unstructured, there's no quality control whatsoever, and you can only go so far with self-reported data. So that's one part of what needs to be matched. On the other side, you have a recruitment document. This is an actual recruitment document that they pulled from clinicaltrials.gov a few days ago. What's child Q class A? What's Bartholomew liver cancer stage D? If you ask an AI, they're probably not going to know. So it's in natural language, but also this very highly technical. Now, before we ask how we can manage that, so what do we gain by using AI to manage it? So, in a very simplified way, traditional patient recruitment, the CRO can link your trial, sends the patient recruitment requirements to hospitals, well, study sites, generally hospitals, on study sites obviously, and then hospitals say, yeah, we might have those people, or sometimes even before say, yeah, we think we have this amount of patients, and when you send the actual requirements, they find far fewer patients than they announced. You keep going back and forth, and you go call the new study site, and you are spending a massive amount of time going back and forth and trying to dig through that data. With AI, you can streamline that directly, because when the CRO gives the recruitment document to an AI, the AI can query the entirety of the database of the hospital in a fraction of the time that this back and forth will take. Now, and then you get the patient IDs, and you get that back to the CRO, and the CRO can handle the actual enrollment, informed consent, and the next steps. Now, this also opens new opportunities that currently are not necessarily exploited, is that the patient can also communicate with the AI. You can imagine a situation where the patient gives medical condition data to the access to their protected data. Remember, patients own their medical data, even if it's hosted on the hospital database. And then the AI can give the patient recommendations for clinical trials and so on. So it's second on. So it not only makes things more efficient by avoiding the constant back and forth, it also opens new possibilities that you can't really have right now. So now from a technical perspective, how do you get to a point where you actually have a working, functional AI recruitment platform? First thing, AI needs massive amounts of data. The ChatGPT, again, the early version, they trained on more than them, more than 100 billion web pages used more to training. That's text generation. Stable diffusion, which is image generation, we're still in the billions of images. There's 35 million US hospital admissions per year, and even if you are the most well-connected company, you are not going to have access to every single data, to every single data linked to every single admission. So it's important to recognize that you're not going to have data to create models from scratch. You cannot train a medical ChatGPT because there's not enough data in the world to do that from scratch. So it becomes important to leverage pre-existing generic models, and adapt them, fine-tune them to the specific task that you want. And I insist on specific because a model will only be good for what it has been trained for. And that's why if you have a highly technical question, it's good on medical data, it's going to spit out nonsense. Now, how did we implement that in practice? I really want to stay connected to how things are done in practice to give you a sense of example of the way it can be done. So we are integrating actual research, numerical data, charts and so on, text data, doctor's notes, medical imaging data. We can take images like scans that are attached to the medical record as well. On the other hand, purely pharmaceutical recruitment documents, where I have platform which goes clickers, crunching all that, spits out eligible patients. In overall, simple. Now, looking a little bit deeper into that, you'll see some of the general principles that I told you apply in practice. The encoding of the medical data is performed with existing foundation models, like BERT, which is a general text encoding, for example. This is the matching algorithm problem, and then the generative part of matching that tells you, hey, this person is matching with this child for those reasons. They think, based on the CUNA, generic text AI model, which we fine-tune on the actual medical data. In order to make sure that the model is not hallucinating, we have a supervised model that makes sure that what's coming out of the generative content still makes medical sense. And that's really what's behind it. We're not training models from scratch, we're adapting existing models to the specific task, which is matching. Now, how does output look like? Well, the normal criteria for it in Chinese that was for demonstration for a Chinese hospital network. Well, here's the patient ID, and here's why the AI thinks that the patient ID is suitable for the trial, and you can open the document and look at the annotation and what the AI thinks about it. This part is explainable as that because the AI will tell you this is why I think this patient is suitable. To annotate the text, and I'll go back to explainability because it's critical, especially in the US. Now, what about human doctors in that? Well, AI in the medical field cannot and should not replace human doctors. The reason is, a human has capacity to integrate information on the fly that was not foreseen by the creator of an AI model. And that's really precious, meaning that neither humans nor AI are going to be accurate 100% of the time, but the intersection of the two can work in a really efficient way. And humans can focus on high-value work, like patient interaction, rather than leaving the database digging for AI. Now, in terms of practice, what can be done is, well, you have your patient records, and then AI crunches the patient records, produces filtered and annotated records that are of special interest to the trial, and then it's important this should be reviewed by a human in order to make sure that it makes sense, and the human makes the final decision. Now, techniques that allow the AI to get better and better are also exist and are pretty powerful in the field. So, for example, having human feedback at the AI stage, and the technique is called RWE, which stands for reinforcement learning with human feedback. It's particularly powerful because it allows the AI to start learning some of that medical knowledge that only a human would have. And you can get AI that does better things and with better medical sense. Now, data. And remember, in AI, data is everything. And the data that you're dealing with when you are building an AI from medical records is protected by privacy laws in the US and very stringent. But do look in other I would say, jurisdictions. The UK, for example, there's anonymized patient data available very easily. China is also an interesting place to look for medical data. But that means that, especially if you're handling US patient medical records, you need to have to be up to date on your data security. You don't want to be responsible for a data leak of your training data already. That goes without saying, and that could set back the whole field for a while. But there are specific challenges to AI, and especially if you have generative AI in your pipeline. This creates a new kind of vulnerability that people are only figuring out how to attack and also how to defend. So be very aware that if you set a generative AI in the field, you are vulnerable to attacks like that. Now, what they do is essentially they get the AI to spit out their training data. When the training data, and here they can reach, so here on ChatGPT they manage 3% of spitting out the training data. That's massive, considering the amount of queries you can send to an AI per second. You can extract an entire medical database at this rate within reasonable time. So imagine if 3% of AI of medical data leak, that would be bad. And this is a problem that's still affecting research. This takes place from late last year. Attack methods advanced, defense methods also advanced. They developed a line of defense methods. Clearly, it has been beaten. So beware that you need to treat your AI itself, the generated parts of the AI, as sensitively as the data it was trained on, because it's still a possibility today to get a generative AI to spit out the training data. Now, how do we deal with data security? So, first thing, the most secure data is the data of not leaving the hospital. So, as much as possible, it's better to bring the AI to the data rather than send the data to the AI. Now, how do we deal when we have to take the data out for specific applications? Well, first, encrypt it, anonymize it as much as possible. These things also enable, again, new opportunities. Because imagine, for example, with a blockchain platform where you have encrypted data living on the blockchain and the patients have the decryption key. You can really empower patients to own that data, to decide and know who's doing what with it. Again, area of active research, I'm not aware of something that's being implemented right now, but also pretty interesting to think about it, that you could have people really own their data with a system like that in a way that's secure and to regulatory standards. Now, another point that I want to touch on is collaboration. So you need to have access to that data. If you are a small company, you are not going to have the contacts with the hospital network that gives you access to that data, which means you need to have partnerships with established groups, established companies, especially CROs, that have access to the data, that have access to the data, that can get you access to the data. And the company we work with is called NJS. It's generally a CRO that has those industry contacts. And it's also important to think about the pharmaceutical company that wants to use your solution. They want to talk to one person, which is going to be the CRO. And they're not going to want to talk to you if you can only handle the recruitment. They want a complete solution. So importantly, it's important to think, especially as a small structure, that you're not here to compete with the CRO. You're here to make them your client. And that's a significant shift in the way that that trial recruitment is often envisioned. Now, another important point about data is that AI is not smart. That's not the sort of place you want to get it. Now, all those challenges have pretty much been, until last year, a wild west with very little regulatory guidance and anecdotal, let's say, anecdotal secret sharing between people who are actually in the field. 2023, in May, the FDA has finally given a guidance document, a draft document that tells what they think about AI. And there's one takeaway from that, which is important to remember, which is that there's significant emphasis on explainability of models as clinical stage AI. This recommendation, there's not that much substance in the recommendation, but the fact that they have specifically emphasized explainability on the section on clinical trials is really telling and is really matching of what we see happening in practice. There have been rejections that I know of, that they have rejected clinical trial designs because the model was not explainable. It happens, and they do it. This was important. It is important to ensure adequate representation of populations that are likely to use the drug, as matching algorithms are created, and when used, confirm that equitable inclusion was achieved during the recruitment process. Model explainability. So, and that, I would say, probably what's going to shape the future of recruitment in clinical trials. Now, I've covered only this specific portion, but there's way much more of AI at the clinical stage. Things that are more or less mature, data processing and automation, pretty mature, isotope text and email processing, and pretty widespread. Analytical AI, also pretty widespread. If you have stakeholder data, discovering new relationships, find new applications for your drug, that's relatively easy to pass the SDA, because then you can do all the very specific you need in order to confirm your AI-generated hypothesis. And a field that's surprisingly gaining a lot of traction, but which is worth mentioning, which is twins, in which we simulate your control groups using AI. And there are things that are actually going into trials with this principle digital twin, so another, I would say, application of AI that seems to go through the FDA review. And as parting words, I want to really impart on you that AI is not magic. A lot of people think it's magic, it's not. It's a very powerful way of processing massive amounts of data, that is only as good as the data it has seen in training. And from an organizational perspective, the amount of data you need to do good AI is beyond the reach of many organizations. Many organizations are not ready to use AI, and many organizations have failed to use AI, thinking that it was enough to hire a handful of AI engineers and tell them to solve the problem, and not having the data generation capacity behind it. And you need to have everything behind it. You have the generation, you need to have the way to contain it, to retrieve it, you also need IT and data science infrastructure. It takes more than just a handful of AI engineers to get into the AI. Thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to take any questions you might have. If you're interested more about, so I'm happy to talk about sales. If you're interested to talk more about what we do at Hill Research or business contact, please also contact the CEO and co-founder who is much more business oriented and be able to look at the science, happy to talk about the science as well.
Thank you, Dr. Duprey. Any questions? Yes, Vladimir. We have just a couple minutes.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to see results. For example, like traditional methods, recruited 100 patients. How much your powerful AI algorithms recruit? Is it 20% more, 100% more? What?
So on that, we are more. So we are currently benchmarking on speed, and speed the execution. So from data comes in to data comes out, 3 days, compared to typically 3 months when you're doing the back and forth with the doctor, with the same accuracy as a human person would do.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
50-fold acceleration, same accuracy.
No, I'm interested in percentage. What percentage? How much enrollment increased? For example, again, traditional ways of recruitment, 100 patients. How much did you get? 150, 200, 500,000?
So,
do you have this experience?
Yes, we do. So, same number, again, we are seeing an increase in speed over efficiency. What we gain is that instead of spending 3 months going back and forth, we find the same patient in 50-fold reduced time, in 3 days. We don't see an increased efficiency, but also we're not going for it. Again, depending on the good at what we're asking it to do. We go faster, not necessarily we put more patients in. That being said, with the speed advantage, you can go for more different sites, more databases, but that's not what we're benchmarking against right now.
Okay.
So related question, I mean, how many trials Hill Research has been involved in?
So we are currently at 6, I believe.
6?
Sorry, going to break now, if that's okay. We're going to continue the discussion during the panel portion of the event, and then we will have an opportunity for audience to ask questions following the panel. That's okay. Thank you very much for understanding. The bathrooms are to the right, so it's individual rooms. Everyone is sharing. Individual, please knock on the door, see if anyone's there. The wash basins, the wash is shared. Okay, so it's a shared facility, just to let you know. And enjoy some more food if you have time and grab a water. Thank you.